Good morning, and welcome to Red Fridays. I've got my red shirt on. I've got my red pen here. And if you don't know, RED here at Low VA Rates is an acronym for Remember Everyone Deployed. And so we all try to wear red on Fridays. And as a matter of fact, if you're not deployed, but you're a service member or a veteran, we thank you again for your service. And as you may know, I try to do these whiteboard series weekly, where we touch on some of the most important information about VA home loans. And today, with my red white erase marker here, or whiteboard erase marker, I'm going to talk about a guy named Earl. Okay, not like your old Uncle Earl, but Earl as in IRRRL. Okay, now here's what that stands for. Interest. Are you interested? I sure hope you are, but that's not the type of interest we're talking about today. We're talking about interest as in your interest rate. Again, I just said it. Interest rate reduction. Everybody wants to reduce. Everybody wants to reduce their interest rate. So we've got our interest rate reduction. We do that how? Through a refinance. Okay. Loan. Sorry that I do not have the best penmanship in the world, but an IRRRL, if you've been getting mailers in the mail from us or some of our competitors, if you've been seeing stuff pop up all over the internet, and you're wondering what is this IRRRL, some people actually leave off an R because it's easier. What is this IRRRL that everyone talks about? It is a way in which a veteran can reduce their rates on their loan through a refinance. Okay? We're going to talk about that today. Matter of fact, I woke up this morning because I'm a mortgage professional. I watched the financial news. So I know that's not exciting to most people, but I turned on CNBC and oh my gosh, the Dow Jones was down 400 points by the open. Oil's all messy right now. We've got problems in China. That's economic information that has an impact on you guys who are watching because we have all this financial turmoil and we have the Dow Jones or the stock market just going like this. It's crashing this morning. Something interesting that you should know, when the financial markets in this country do poorly, generally speaking, interest rates do well. Okay? So today is a great day to take advantage of our IRRRL. Now, you've also probably heard the word, sorry that you're having a look at my back so long here, streamline. A VA streamline is the public's way of talking about the mortgage industry's IRRRL. That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to take 2 or 3 more minutes to give you some information. Now, rates change daily. If you're watching this live broadcast at another time, please call us at 866-LOW-VA-RATES or visit us online at our website for daily interest rates. But today, we have 30-year fixed. Everybody likes this fixed rate. 30-year fixed rates down as low as 3.25%. Now we have 15-year fixed rates. Okay, that's at 3.25. Your APR is probably closer to 3.4. We have 15-year rates at 2.75 with probably about a 2.8 APR. And my favorite loan, which we will talk about in another broadcast, our hybrid ARM loan is at a whopping, or I should say a very small 1.75% with an APR of probably right around 1.95. Okay, but I'm not here to discuss rates today. I'm here to discuss the IRRRL. Here's how it works. There's a couple of main rules. Let's just say the average veteran homeowner today is at 3.75 to 4.25% interest. That's where most people that call my loan officers up today tell us they are. And they want a lower rate. So I just told you that our 30-year fixed rates are at 3.25%. That's issue number one. The number one rule that the Department of Veterans Affairs has set up to protect you, the VA homeowner, is if you're going to do an IRRRL loan, you must lower your interest rate. Well, 3.25 is certainly lower than both of those. Now, there are exceptions to every rule. I was getting my kids ready for school this morning, helping my son prepare for a test. And as we've learned from a young age, every rule has an exception. If you're on an adjustable rate mortgage and you would like to take advantage of these low fixed rate mortgages, your interest rate can go up and you're still okay under IRRRL guidelines. That's too complex for today. That will be part 2 of this next week, perhaps. So number one rule is what? Rate must go down. Your rate must go down. We've taken care of that if you are at one of these rates today, okay? Number two rule is your principal and interest payment must go down. Maybe you've heard of PI. That's not a private investigator. We're talking principal and interest. Your total mortgage payment is made up of 4 things, known as PITI: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. All I'm talking about today is your P&I payment. Now, mathematically speaking, you may say, if I'm going from 4 1/4 to 3 1/4, and you're dropping my rate, which is rule number 1, then would my P&I not go down, my principal and interest? And I'm here to tell you, yes, it would. But if you were at 3.375 and you were trying to refinance to a 3 1/4, not much of a decrease in interest rate. You still complied with rule number 1, but there are certain closing costs in VA loans. Another webinar, another time, we'll talk about closing costs. They are not bad. The VA charges you some fees. Title companies charge you fees. We're going to charge you some fees. Yes, there are no-cost loans, but P&I must go down. Let's just assume 99% of the time, if your rate goes down, so does your P&I. So there's that. Number 3, mostly important, or also important, your current loan must be a VA loan. So if you've served in the military, you have VA home loan benefits, but you've got an FHA loan, you've got a conventional loan, you don't qualify for the IRRRL. An IRRRL is only if you're going VA to VA. You're not trying to go off of a non-VA loan into a VA loan, or from your VA loan to a different loan. You're going VA to VA. And finally, the last thing I will talk about today before I wrap up, number 4, no cash out. It doesn't mean no cash back, even though a VA IRRRL loan normally has no cash back either. All of this information is available on our website at lowvarates.com under our FAQs, but you cannot get cash out. So if your intention is to put a new kitchen in, or you want to put in a swimming pool, or you're out in California where there's been a drought lately and you want to put some turf in your front yard, that's not going to happen necessarily with the VA IRRRL. Now the turf, that's a whole other story. Solar panels, turf, more energy efficient stuff on your home. You can do that via an IRRRL combined with an EEM loan, which we will certainly be talking about at another broadcast. But keep in mind, no cash out, no debt consolidation. The IRRRL is simply to take these higher rates, which most of our clients are at today, give them the newer low rates and save you money. Now, some additional perks. This is not part of the VA benefit, or part of the VA handbook, should I say, but here we will end it with benefits. These are the benefits of the IRRRL. We just talked about some. Lower rate, everybody likes that. With a lower rate, we have a lower payment, okay? You get an escrow refund most of the time from your current lender. So let's just say you're with, I don't even want to name names, but you're with mortgage company XYZ. And every single month we talked about that PITI. Every single month you're paying taxes and insurance, and that sits in an escrow account. So that when your taxes come due each year to the county, and your hazard insurance or your fire insurance comes due to your insurance agent, you're not scrambling to, where's my money? You can put it away little by little every single month to your mortgage company, and your taxes and insurance are what are called an escrow account. Escrow, they're saving that money for a future date. Well, that starts to build up over 12 months. You could have, $3,000 currently sitting in your escrow account. When we refinance you through an IRRRL, mortgage company XYZ, who's holding on to this money for you, mails it right back to you most of the time. And that's money that you can do whatever you want with, because when low VA rates sets you up with your new loan, let me remind you, at a possibly much lower interest rate than you're at now, we will set up a new escrow account during that time frame, and you can do whatever you want with your refund. That's a benefit. And secondly, you get to postpone or defer. We like to use the word defer payments. Okay, it's January right now. If you were to call us up after watching this hangout or this webinar, and you say, hey, Eric, I want to take advantage of this right now, I can save money. Well, you've already made your January payment. It's the 15th. You should have made it by now. If you haven't, here's your reminder. Send your payment in. But we will close you in February. And we will tell you, Mr. or Mrs. Veteran, do not mail in your February payment to mortgage company XYZ. Now, let me be clear. We are not saying go spend it, go blow it, go waste it. Just be patient. Put it under your mattress. Keep it in the bank. But don't mail in your February payment, because we're going to close you in February. And if we set this up right, and we know how to do that, we will make sure that we take care of all the interest due. Mortgage company XYZ for February is rolled into your new loan. You will not owe a payment in March either, and we will make your first mortgage payment due on April 1, and that is not an April Fool's joke. That is real. Your first payment will be due on April 1st, 2016. Therefore, not only do you get the $3,000 back, but you can take those two payments for February and March that were deferred. Why do I say deferred? I'm not trying to mislead like some other people might do. That interest gets tacked on to your new loan. It doesn't just vanish and disappear. But remember, your new loan, you're borrowing that money that you're tacking on there at a very low rate. So we suggest you take the two deferred payments, pay off some credit card bills. Those interest rates are up in the 20% range, believe it or not. Go look at your statement. So let's say your mortgage payment's $1,800 a month. That's $3,600 that you can now go do something else with. But do not spend it, even if you're not working with low VA rates. Do not go out and spend your February or March or whatever month you are in payment, because things go south sometimes. There's hang-ups, there's hold-ups, and there's nothing worse than having a sad discussion with an irate consumer, especially a veteran, who says, well, you guys told me I was going to close in February and I didn't have to make my payment. So I went out and I took little Johnny to SeaWorld or Disneyland and I don't have the money. That's not a fun conversation for anybody. So there you have it. If you'd like to read more about this, a lot of times to hear it, that's interesting, but then you want to do your own research, please visit us online at Low VA Rates. That's Low VA Rates, RATES.com. For more information, we'll see you next week, same time, same place.